What's up, Slayers? Let's go. It's Friday. We're knocking on June's door. All right. Hope everybody's doing great. We apologize. We were supposed to do a Slay Station last Friday night, and we didn't. So here we are, and we have some of the guests that we have invited last week back on tonight. We got two states being represented tonight, New Hampshire and Long Island. So stay tuned. But hey, we just want to hope or wish everybody the best of luck this weekend. There's a bunch of sleigh events going on, and there's also a big event. There's the Hobie BOS on Cayuga Lake in New York this weekend. We have our Upstate New York Kayak Club also in that event, right? And our College Kayak Series. That's right. And if you know Ewing Minor, he's also fishing in that College Kayak Series as well. So we wish all of the Slayers safe, happy, and great events. So wish them best of luck. Now, real quick, I know you're looking at my hat because it's sweet. Brand new Slay Nation fishing hats are on our Slay Nation tournamentfishinggear.com website. You can go there off of our regular website. Get them. We have all different colors. There's red hats like this, blue hats like this, purple hats like this. This is the 5-panel auto hat or whatever. I don't know. It's like, it reminds me of like a skater hat. Like, I'm not a skater, but it's the one I wanted. And then we have the Richardson 112s. What's not on there right now are fitted flex fit hats. I can add those. They're a little bit more expensive. As you know, fitted hats are more expensive. I'll add those, but go check them out. All different color schemes, even a Slay Nation on there's different colors. So go check it out. They're not going to be up there very long, probably for another month, and then I'm going to take them off. So go check them out. Hey, we got to thank our sponsors. We got Martin's Custom Baits in the house, Dark Horse Tackle, Black Hole Outfitters, the official kayak outfitter of Slay Nation, right? SFO Tackle, go check them out, baby. We have X-Zone Lures, Heat Your Meat, Stoneman and Son Lure Company out of Vermont, the Rod Glove, Hookset Hoodlums, Harmony Fishing Company, and Omnia Fishing. All right, enough of that. Let's bring on our guest. All right, representing New Hampshire Kayak Series, we got Jesse Conley in the house, right? Also representing New Hampshire, Lady Slayers, Tammy Sanchez, all right, and representing Long Island Small Vessel Series, Craig and Frank Footer, right? What's up, everybody? How we doing?
Good.
Happy Friday. Good to see ya. It's Friday. I know, like this. It's like I want to be on like the back porch right now with a little campfire and like, right, just an ice cold beverage, right? That's what it feels. What a great night. I don't know how the weather is in New Hampshire or Long Island, but it was gorgeous today in Connecticut. Mid 70s. It's great. Well, thank you all for hopping on. I really appreciate it. I know Friday night, it's 9 o'clock. We all want to be on the couch chilling or rigging up some last minute rods for tomorrow's events. But here we are. So always greatly appreciated to have y'all on. And we're here to talk about your recent wins, right? Which was 2 weekends ago, which I believe that was May 15th and 16th or 16th, 17th. I think it was Mother's Day weekend, actually. Was it? Yes. Yeah, and you guys were fishing. Nice. Way to go, kids. But hey, that was a busy weekend for Slay Nation. We had 16 club events. That was our busiest weekend in our history. And we're really proud of that. 16 different clubs. I don't even know if there's many organizations out there doing that right now. Maybe KBF. I don't even know. But we're happy. We got Stoneman and Son Lures in the house. Pete Stoneman, what's going on? Representing Vermont, also a Slay Nation director. But hey, let's get into it, right? We're going to go ladies first because we're gentlemen here, right? And Tammy, you have been a longtime Slayer. You are not new to tournaments. I was telling these guys before you popped on that you are an established kayak angler. You've made a name for yourself in many different like series, clubs, whatever, right? Different like tournament formats, which is really cool. But you're also a lady Slayer, and and you won the Division 2, right? Yep. Division 2 kayak series event. And talk about that, girl.
Yeah, so I think I've been with Slay Nation for 3 years now. This is going on my 3rd year. I've done, I did the previous 3 years, I've done the small vessel series. the New Hampshire
Yes.
Small Vessel Series, and then the Lady Slayers last year, the year before that, last year, and this year. Unfortunately, I won't probably be doing the Small Vessel Series this year. It just coincides with a lot of the other tournaments that I'm already committed to.
Yeah.
So I'm just pretty much doing the Lady Slayer, and that's a little more convenient for me because it's usually, you know, a 2-day tournament on the weekends, and you can kind of piggyback a different, you know, different tournaments with that
Yeah.
as well. So that works out well.
Yeah. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you know you have a Lady Slayers tournament coming up, whatever weekend it is. Do you have like a favorite body of water? So anybody watching, like the Lady Slayers is an online series, so you fish your public waters for anybody watching or who doesn't know. So how do you have like your spot? Like when it comes, or does it depend on the weather? Does it depend on like what goes into that?
Yeah, I mean there is one little lake pond that I do like to fish, and it's kind of secluded. It's not easy to get to. Not too many people know about it, so it doesn't get a lot of pressure.
Jesse,
So
plug your ears.
I do I do like to hit that one, and it's got a couple of good ones in it. It's just a matter of if they're interested or not. This past or the 2 weeks ago when I went, they were not. I couldn't find them. But I mean, I caught a ton of little guys all day long. If that one doesn't pan out, I usually just run to a couple of other ones that are close by me. I usually just kind of stay close to home. I don't travel too far. And you know, luckily, I think so I fished Saturday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to fish on Sunday because I had a family event commitment. So I could only fish one day of the 2 days. So I pushed it pretty hard. I went really early, started really early. Like I said, that first place didn't really pan out. So I jumped in and went to another place. That one wasn't really panning out either. It was I mean, again, sort of the same thing, like 15, 16 inches, little guys, nothing big. And then like, I don't know, about 7 o'clock, the bite just turned on. It just went crazy, and I started hitting some pads with the jig, and it was just one right after the other. You know, a 19.5 was my biggest, and then like an 18 came up, an 18.25. It was just like all of a sudden they just started biting. And so for that, like I was like out all day, and not until like that last hour that I had to fish that it was like it on fire.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good.
Got my 5 fish in that last hour, I think. And
hey, sometimes that happens.
Yeah, and luckily I think it was 92.5 was what I ended up with, and
that's a good bag.
It held out for the weekend, so I was excited.
We have Michael Bradley's asking, are you wearing a Real Northern Bass hoodie?
I am.
There she is, sir. There it is.
I am. I'm a huge fan of Sean and Sean's channel.
Yeah, it's a good podcast.
Yep.
Yeah, those guys do a nice job. Awesome. So, like, the cool thing about the online series is, like you said, you could fish 2 hours in a spot, and you're like, all right, this ain't working. Back up the kayak. Like, that's the fun thing about online stuff, right? And it makes it real accessible. Anybody can do it. It's something we offer to our lady anglers. And so that I think that's a really cool, characteristic of online events. But talk about, so you didn't talk about how you caught them.
Yeah, I was in the pads mostly. So one of the little ponds near me has started to develop some decent pads and like a back end, and that's where I found them. They were all in there. I could see them chasing bait in the back. So I tried to throw a frog out there, but I wasn't really having much success. So I kind of pulled back out to like the very beginning of it. And I just started going along that route of the pads with the jig, and they were hitting it.
Oh, let's go.
So yeah, that's my favorite. Jig is my favorite technique.
Like a swim jig, or you let just
almost just kind of letting it just fall like in the pads close by the side of them, and just
So a possibility they could have been chasing some bluegill.
Yep.
That's typically what they say. If the bass are hitting the jig on a fall, bluegill, hitting at the bottom, crayfish. Nice. What color do you mind if I ask?
Yeah, no.
What's your go-to?
It was a pretty nice day, sunny out. I was throwing, I think, green pumpkin, like a green pumpkin color with a, I think it was a Strike King Rage Craw trailer.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite trailers.
Yeah, that's one of my go.
A small jig with one of those trailers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And so you took the W. I don't remember how many kayak anglers competed in that event. Not many, right?
I think there were 10 that weekend.
10. Oh, that's good. All right, that's good.
That's actually very good from past events. So that was
we're trying to. So the reason it is how it is this year with the divisions, and then we broke up the bank anglers together, whatever, in the kayak and the boat, because of feedback we got from ladies last summer. They were like, "Hey, Frankie, why don't you try it?" And we're like, "All right, we've tried all these different variations." And I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of it. I like when everybody was bunched together, because you had our first year we did that. We had 80 lady slayers competing in one event.
Yeah,
it was great, and not always the southern gals won.
No.
Right. There was northern gals that were winning with smallmouth, and so there's a possibility we might go back to that next year, because it's kind of diluted, right? Each little series in each division. So I personally like the way we used to do it, but whatever. We're offering something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's still probably in its infancy to really split it out. So because you're getting kind of only a few, and maybe I think the boat one is tough, and bank are tough, but I think it's still probably a year or two out, maybe, before we get a good showing of women, before we can really split it out.
Yeah. I was talking to Cheryl about that today. We had a good conversation. Just talking, because I'm like, I feel like it's almost. And I know they have the Women's Fishing Federation, but are you a part of that as well?
I am.
Do they get a lot of participants in their online events?
Not really.
It's tough.
It's same, it's
right.
Tough, it's growing, I think, as well. I mean, this year I've seen more numbers, but it's still relatively small.
Yeah, I know. All right, well, we'll have to figure out how to bump it up, because it's more fun when more people participate. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It just is. Awesome. All right, Tammy. Well, you have any big events coming up?
I think my next one is not this weekend, but the following weekend. So I don't know if you've heard. So the New Hampshire, Bassmaster, the New Hampshire Bassmaster Kayak Series is new this year.
Okay.
So that's sort of the gateway into making the Bassmaster Classic.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
So we have a tournament following Saturday, which is probably my next biggest one.
Okay. Do you fish the Hobies at all?
I don't. I was debating whether to do the Cayuga one this weekend, but I couldn't. I have to manage my time off from work, so it was. It would be the only one I would do, and I'm more committed to the EKF Trail Series.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And the Bassmaster New Hampshire Kayak Series now, so I kind of have worked through my days off for those tournaments to travel. So
okay. Yeah, well, we wish you the best of luck in that.
Thank you.
That'd be really cool to get on that stage.
That would be.
Right? That'd be
really cool.
It
would be.
Nice. Awesome. All right, we're going to kick it. We're going to stay in New Hampshire right now, all right, Long Island boys. But don't worry, we got you. Jesse.
Yep.
New Hampshire Kayak Series win 2 weeks ago. How'd that happen, man?
I don't know. It just kind of worked out. I went over, we started out at Spofford Lake, kind of just a lot too far from the Connecticut River, southwest of New Hampshire, It's about 700 square feet, or miles there.
Yeah. Square feet.
Yeah. That's right. It's got some good deep spots. It's got some clear water, some good rock flats and whatnot.
Nice.
So I fished there a few times. They've got smallmouth, largemouth, some good big pike in there.
Nice.
So I kind of headed to a couple of rock flats that I knew about and kind of threw the chatterbait. 15 minutes, had the first 17-incher in the boat. I'm like, nice. Oh, this is doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And it just kind of went dead for a little while, half hour or so. Then started using the drop shot.
Okay.
Throwing around some of the flats, getting hung up a million times, of course. That's always fun.
Yeah.
And then it just drop shot just seemed to start working. Pulled a few fish off of there, and then kind of headed towards the bank and started to do a little bit of sight fishing.
Okay.
Just some smallmouth in some beds, over in throw around some boulders and whatnot, and just seemed to find the big fish on bed still.
Yeah. All right. Oh, that's good. I have personally, I love when tournaments are both smallmouth and largemouth. It just opens up the playing field, right? Like if you're targeting largemouth, for example, you're having a tough time. All right, let's switch it up and go try to target some smallmouth. I love tournaments that can offer both the fish like that.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. They said they got some big fish in there. It was nice, like you said. I was catching. There was a lot of guys that seemed to all they could find was them 12, 14-inch dinks, and then for some reason I was just found the beds pretty well. And
nice.
Out of 5 fish, my smallest was a 17.
Oh, dang!
I had a 19 and a quarter largemouth, 19 even smallmouth, a couple of 18s, and like a 17 and a half. So it was
wow. So what did you end up having?
91 even.
Oh, let's go. 2 good bags here. That's a great tournament sack.
Yeah, I was just hitting those beds, hitting some flats, and just kept bumping around. That lake's probably got half a dozen, 6 or 8, actually, like good, decent, like rocky flats right around that 4-6 foot depth mark.
What was the water temp?
71-ish.
Oh, okay. All right. Warmer than I thought, to be honest, for up there.
Yeah, for that, I was actually kind of surprised it was that warm there. A couple of spots were 68, and then you kind of found a couple of warm spots, the shallow, rocky stuff that's 70-ish.
Were you drop shotting on the beds, or you were using soft plastic? Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, over on the 3 foot mark, and then once I got out to some of those rock flats, like 6 or 8 feet, you really couldn't see all the way down there, so you just kind of just threw around there, just kind of pulling it back towards you. And
yeah. Okay. Do you have electronics? Do you use side imaging? Or you do? Yeah.
Yeah, I just got a regular old Garmin fish finder, nothing fancy. Just basically looking for depth and water temperature for the most part.
Okay, nice. Was second place close behind you?
I think it was 87 inches.
Okay, maybe one call away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
So last year was my first year. I joined up in the small vessel series. Just a regular old paddle kayak. It was a lot of workout between paddling, trying to race them, and boat control. It was pretty tough being first year. And then my goal that year was to not ever get skunked, to never come in last.
That's a good goal.
I did that last year.
Okay.
And then this year was to hopefully get in the money at least once.
Yeah, well, you did it on the first event.
Yeah, hopefully I didn't screw myself for the rest of the
jinx
season.
Yourself. Is that the first turn? Like, all right, so let's just say the morning's happening. You're like, all right, I caught one off the bat, pretty good. Bam. Then you're like, all right, what the heck? Everybody's catching these dinks. I hope I can find something big. Now, at what point of the morning or the day were you like, holy crap, I think I might have this?
Couple of fish in, 2, 3. I'm like, seemed to actually catch them relatively quickly. Yeah, Joe. So, I'm like, I'm doing 17s, a few 16s, and I'm like, I'm doing pretty decent. And then I just kind of kept an eye on a guy. He was actually like half an inch ahead of me. So I was kind of eyeballing it every time I submitted a fish.
Okay.
And then at one point, like I said, I was right on him. I said, I'm actually doing pretty damn good. And then we were using Tourney X, and he shut it off at noontime, so you couldn't see it after 12. And I submitted a fish at 12:07, so I was going to look at the thing, and I couldn't. I'm like, damn it. 12:07, so I couldn't see where I was. And then it was just kind of keep hammering. And then I was looking at my bag, and I'm like, damn, I got to cull out some 17s and 17 and a halves. And that's pretty decent when you're looking to cull 17, 18-inch fish.
Oh, 100%.
You know, so I'm like just going along, and then got my bag, had some 17s and 18s, and then that one 19-inch smallmouth hit. I'm like, hell yeah, I can get rid of a 17 with a 19.
Yeah.
That's a big increase. And then I just didn't really think about it too much after that. I knew I had a fairly decent bag, and I had my 5, and I was just kept plugging along. It was kind of nice not being nervous.
I personally like having, like, I shut the standings off for my club too. I personally like that because it teaches you to fish to the end to the whistle blows, right? And I feel like some anglers, like if you're able to see, and you're like, oh, I'm up, 20 inches, and you kind of like maybe lay off. Some, not everybody, but some people do, and then it bites you in the ass, right? And I feel like shutting. And I understand, like we're not national events. No, we don't have 200 people watching online, so it's not like anybody's following the event. So I personally love shutting the standings off at noon because no one knows, even at the ramp, really, and some guys and gals might say something like, yeah, I think I got 80, whatever, but what you get, and if I tell them, don't say anything. Like after I do the awards, it's more fun. But I personally like it because as part of a tournament angling is like you, just like any other sport, you play to the whistle. Yeah. Right. You fish hard. You try to catch that 25-inch or whatever. You keep going because you never know. You never know. Yeah. And I personally like that feature. Awesome. And how many? So, are you like riding high on the throne right now, Jesse? Like you got full confidence heading into the next tournament? Like, yo, let's go.
I don't know about full confidence, but it felt good to kind of come out of the gate strong versus only catching 3 fish out of 5 and coming out with like a few tournaments. Last year I only had 46 inches, 3 fish, and I'm like, oh, god damn. Yeah. I didn't get skunked, didn't come in last, so I was still feeling good about that, but it was it was kind of nice being able to
it's nice. Now you could tell everybody
earn some money versus go home losing money.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, instead of donating, right?
So I was able to. Again, hopefully I didn't hurt myself, but I was able to get first place and big fish. So,
sick!
I got paid twice.
There you go. That's a good day. That's a good day.
Also, I can hold on to it for a minute.
Yeah, awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And we wish you luck on the next one, which I think is next weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, nice. All right, now we're gonna shift gears. We're gonna go down south to our duo down here. 2 wins in a row. They called it. Frankie and Craig, Long Island Small Vessel Series. You're back, and you guys put a target on your back now for Long Island, boys. Oh man, Paulo and Vito are coming for you, dude. Awesome. So, all right, just remind us, where did you fish last event?
Ford Pond in Montauk.
Ford?
Ford.
Okay. Nice. And so, how'd you pull it off, boys? Talk about it. 2 wins in a row.
It was rough in the beginning, like 6 o'clock in the morning again, we started hitting fish, but they kept on falling off the hook.
Okay.
Like we brought them to the boat. What did we bring? 5 fish to the boat that were.
Yeah, I gotta say, out of all the times we've been fishing this tournament, we probably lost the most fish just at the boat from jumping off the hook. We lost probably 5 or 6 fish that would have helped us out in the beginning.
What kind of hooks were you using?
Or
was it just luck, bad luck?
So it had double trouble.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I guess they were not hooked properly, or they were just caught on by like one of the little hooks, and they were just able to shake themselves off.
Yeah, isn't it like, think about that for a second, right? Crankbaits got 2 treble hooks. That's like 6 pointy things that could potentially stay in their mouth, and they still, right, come off because you probably get them by the back hook. They're probably skin hooked barely, right? And you're like, really? You just try to eat all these hooks, and you can't. You're like, Jesus Christ! Oh, that sucks. Anyway, you still won.
They weren't even small fish. They were big fish. We got them all. We're like, oh, wow. And then I went to grab it. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that happens. Go ahead. Keep going. Keep telling us what happened.
I mean, the conditions for the day, it wasn't too bad. It was kind of warm. It was an overcast day. We ran into some rain that came on and off throughout the day. For the most part, the wind wasn't too bad, probably 9 to 10 miles per hour. So the conditions were kind of good with the overcast. It wasn't too bad. We've been out there on cold, windy days where we're like, how is it even possible pushing our boat all over the place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, tin can.
We used we caught fish with 4 different lures too. We did the chatterbait, crankbait, spinner baits.
Yeah, you guys like the crankbait. I feel like you did well with the crankbait last event too, right?
Yeah.
These the last 2 lakes we did, it's really deep and it's rocky, so there's not a lot of vegetation, so they work really well.
It's nice to hear that. I feel like the crankbait hasn't been getting much love lately. You know, it's an old school tactic.
It's an overlooked lure this early in the season. A lot of people like to use it a little bit later, but for whatever reason, once again, we went out a couple of times out to Montauk. We practiced just as we did before Ronkonkoma, and we found that these crankbaits, they were hitting still.
Yeah.
So we've been doing the same thing for our next tournament. We're going out. This one's a little bit harder for us because I'm not going to say it's the easiest lake that we've fished. We've always had some issue landing fish on this body of water for whatever reason.
Okay.
The same tactics. I mean, we haven't used electronics.
Yeah, we have no electronics.
We've just been going off basic knowledge on where the fish could potentially be hanging out, where we'd be trying to look for beds and stuff like that. And there is a lot more vegetation in this body of water than there was out in Montauk, and it doesn't have the depth.
Okay.
I don't know if crankbait's going to be the go-to this time.
Yeah, no, you can't use crankbait there.
Yeah, but you almost have to. You guys are on fire with crankbaits. You just got to change out the hooks.
Them too. They're fun.
No, we enjoy the crankbaits, but I think we'll be just plucking out way too much veg than we want to deal with this round.
Yeah, and it's going to be warmer out. It might be a topwater bite. Who knows? You know. Is it a largemouth only lake, Montauk?
No, they're a smallmouth. We caught a 18.5-inch smallmouth.
No, it was an 18-inch smallmouth. This one, the whole tournament, we started out, we were in first place, and then going throughout the day, it was a battle the whole day. We ended up dropping down to 6th place, bouncing back up to 3rd place, bouncing back down to 5th place, up to 4th place, then up to 2nd place.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody was catching fish.
Yeah.
So you were looking at Tourney X a lot then, huh?
Yeah, we were like, oh no, we're in 6th place. And then we were in 6th place, and I caught a 4-pounder.
Stop doing that. It's going to give you a heart attack. That's like the worst. Like you look, you're like, damn, we're in 10th. Wait, we're in 2nd. Damn, we're in 13th.
But then, I mean, I hate to even say it. We hit a spot where we weren't getting as many hits as we would like. We kind of coming up empty-handed.
Yeah.
Trying all over the lake. We had probably had like a half hour left in the tournament, and we were sitting in 6th place.
We gave up pretty much.
We kind of almost gave up in a sense, but we knew we had a half hour and we still could make it how far we were away from the boat ramp. So I came up with a kind of a strategy like, let's just hit this bank all the way back, see what happens.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen. In Montauk, you have rocks, you got a little bit of depth, you really don't have the vegetation. So something could be hanging out around those edges. So we decided to head back towards the boat ramp because we only got a half hour left to get in. And we just keep fishing, nothing, just getting snagged up on stuff. And 5 minutes left into the tournament, we hook up with a 18-inch smallmouth bass.
Ooh, let's go. Awesome tournament fish.
Yeah, which jumped us from 6th place to 1st place in the last.
Nice.
Yeah, and we got the biggest bass.
That was a big high five in the boat, I bet.
Yeah, it was definitely a sigh of relief.
But we didn't know if we won or not because
the standings were shut off.
Yeah, so we're like,
let's go, Jim. Shut them off.
I knew we needed, because we had a 13 and a 14, which we dropped the 13, and then it was just eliminating the 14-inch one. Okay. So that 18 did it for us. So we knew once we added those 4 extra inches from where we were, we kind of put ourselves in a better position than we were in. We just didn't know where exactly we were.
Yeah, we won by.
Yeah.
You guys are doing good, man. It seems like you guys are catching a lot of fish, which is like almost helping you kind of figure out some of the things on the lake, like what's going on? You know what I mean?
It's definitely given us a sense of direction on what we have to look for, and just consistently just keep trying to find those points in all different types of lakes.
So let me get this straight. This is your second ever tournament, and you guys have 2 wins.
Yep.
You guys might want to retire, and I don't think many people start this hot.
Yeah,
I hope it's not setting you up for anything in the future, boys.
Well,
Love it.
Well, like Jeff said, hopefully this isn't like a foreshadowing of something that's going to come in the future.
Yeah, you might want to sprinkle a 9th place finish in there just to get that out of the way, and then go back to winning.
And right before the tournament, we had a meeting, and I won the raffle, and I won a rod and reel.
Oh, you won that?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so
we're
he's got like a 4-leaf clover stuck up.
Yeah, you got something stuck up that Long Island ass, bro.
Skunk's coming.
First of all, anybody listening, these are guys from Long Island. Who the hell would have thought we'd be talking about smallmouth bass fishing in Long Island? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like when Jim reached out, I met him actually at a ramp when my AOI championship event last year, and they were like, "Hey, we're from Long Island." I was like, "What the? Like, there's bass fishing on Long Island?"
Yeah.
I just never thought it was a thing, but I'm glad it is, because you guys are crushing it, and it seems like you guys got a nice club going on too, which is really good.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's a nice group of guys we have that's going. Hopefully, it could expand. I mean, even though Long Island Bassmasters, they're getting ready to kind of close their chapter over here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a long-lasting club, right?
Yeah, they were the 7th, I think.
The longest lasting club over the Dixon line or something.
North of the Mason-Dixon line. They were like number 7 and that started in the Northeast, something like that.
Yeah.
That's a cool fact.
Yeah. Since we've been doing this, I've ran into so many members. I actually ran into past presidents of Long Island Bassmasters and got to talking with them and stuff like that. But the history that they've shared with me, it's interesting how long they've been around.
Yeah, that's great. That's how, like, I always say the story when we talk about like starting a club and like that feeling. Like I remember being like a little kid, and you'd go into a tackle shop, and there was always like an older fella that would come in the shop with their bass club jacket on, right? Like this reminds me of that. These guys have been doing this for that long, and this club has been around that long. Like, it was a 7th Bassmaster club.
Yeah, I believe you said it was like the 7th one that was in like the Northeast or something like that.
That's awesome. Like, that's awesome. That's such a cool piece of bass fishing history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And who would have thought Long Island would be top 10 Bassmaster club, origination or whatever the hell it is. That's cool. That's really cool.
I mean,
we have some beautiful lakes here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to make a stop down. I think I got some cousins on Long Island. Staten Island or Long Island. I don't know. They always move.
Well, if you come down this way, just hit us up. We'll go out with you.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. I love it. Well, congratulations, everybody, on wins. Tammy, I'm going to kick it back to you. I would say you're probably the most seasoned angler on this podcast. What would be some advice for somebody that has traveled, fished different bodies of water, different times a year, different formats? What's some advice you would give to any new tournament anglers that might be watching or trying to keep winning?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just getting out there and fishing, as much as you can. So I've kind of, in the past 2 years, I've sort of jumped out of my comfort zone of just sticking around New Hampshire, doing sort of New Hampshire stuff, lakes here, and join some of the bigger tournaments to learn to fish bigger lakes. My comfort zone has always been little smaller ponds and lakes. So me, myself, I kind of got out there and tried to learn more about map study, bigger lakes, what to look for, I do watch a ton of YouTube videos. That's how I've learned a lot as well.
All right. So my question, Tammy, who do you watch on YouTube? Like if you had to give like 3 channels for people to go watch, what would they be?
So for the Northeast, again, I like Sean's channel, with Northern Bass. He's the only one really in our area that, really knows how these lakes fish. So I enjoy his channel. He's pretty good about, really sharing a lot of information, techniques, things that are happening, what to look for in our lakes. And then probably, I watch Greg Blanchard a lot too. He's one of my, I just enjoy, he's also pretty informative, what he's doing, all the tournaments, how he's catching them, what he's looking at. Let's see, what other ones do I watch? And Christine Fisher, she's probably my also one of my top favorites. She's just, she's out there doing her thing for the women, and really, it's really great to see someone, a woman out there as popular as she is and as knowledgeable as she is. So those are probably my top 3.
Okay. Okay. That's good advice. Christine, she can fish. Right? Like she's just always on the water.
Yep.
And I think, and right now she's doing Bassmaster Opens, I believe too, right?
She is.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Let's see what happens. Paving the way. Let's see how many people I'll go get big boats now. Kayak, everybody's leaving the kayak. Actually, the kayak anglers are like, oh great, she's not here. Although she's at the Hope PLS this weekend.
Right.
So she'll be taking somebody's money. Awesome. That's good advice. I totally agree. Time on the water. Just like anything. Like if you're a basketball player, the best way to get better is to get on the court.
Yep.
Like it's like with anything. It's just doing it. Awesome. Great advice. Jesse, for you, is there a tournament on the schedule that you or a lake or a body of water you're like, oh, I can't wait to go there? You're smiling, so that means yes.
No, not really, because I'm kind of like Tammy. I'm relatively new to the tournament scene. I never really ventured too far from home, so a lot of these, like when we did the small vessel last year, some of them are an hour plus away from me, and I've never ventured that far. So a lot of these bodies of water are all brand new, far enough away, hour plus, where I really didn't want to go practice fish it.
Yeah.
Just because you go there and then you turn around, come back the following weekend again to do the tournament. So it's, it's kind of a guessing game. You just kind of get on the water, find some kind of what looks fishy, look on, a topographical map or something like that, kind of see some coves or some where the water's coming in, or try to see different depths, maybe where some lily pads might be, and just kind of head that way, hope for the best. But most of these waters are, for the most part, pretty much new to me.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice going to a brand new body of water you've never been to, like no preconceived notions. You're just going to discover, right? You're just going to discover. And like you said, just target things that you think a bass is going to be around, right? Or
right. Because if it's even those ones that you might fish it relatively often or have high hopes, that's when you really get frustrated.
Who's that?
You might get frustrated.
Is that your daughter?
Yep.
Ava. Hi, Ava.
Some lake that you might have a good feeling about because you fished it a few times in the past, and then it doesn't pan out.
Yeah.
Then you're going to be all pissed. You're going to be in the dump saying, this worked last time. Why isn't it working this time? And then you're sitting there.
That's my next question.
And you hate the day. So
that's my next question. Would you rather, or I guess put it this way, and this can go for anybody on here. Do you feel more pressure going to a brand new body of water you never fished the day of a tournament? Or do you feel more pressure if you've already practiced there and then the day of the tournament, it doesn't pan out how you think it's supposed to be? Where do you get, what do you feel more pressure?
I practice fished a couple times last year and it sucked. So when I went back the day of the tournament, I'm like, oh crap.
That sucks,
I
right?
fished it, didn't catch anything. You're out there for 4 or 5 hours and caught 3 12-inch fish. So then you're like, oh crap. So then you're already dreading the tournament. So
Yes.
now I almost kind of wish that I didn't practice fish. So you're not already driving an hour to the lake, hating the day before you even got on the water.
Yes, and that's my question is how important is pre-fishing? How about Tammy, Craig, and Frank? What do you guys think about that? What's your
I think pre-fishing is very important.
yeah?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean,
So whether it's good or bad.
it's good and bad because we
Well-
did pre-fishing in Montauk, and he got skunked, and I
Yeah.
caught 10 fish. So
Yeah,
the
so
day,
going-
and then the tournament was the next weekend. He was on a skunk streak going into the tournament,
Yeah,
so he was worried.
I was worried about it myself because I'm like,
That's what I mean. Yeah, it puts pressure on you when you pre-fish sometimes.
so I'm like, I gotta hopefully hook up with something. And then the day of the tournament, it was just completely different. We both hooked up with basically the same amount of fish.
Yeah.
And we were able just to do what we needed to do once again.
Yeah. How about you, Tammy? Does it stress you out if you have a bad pre-fish and then like you're heading in a tournament with like that negative like vibe, like, oh man, I didn't really find anything?
Yeah, it does a little for sure. I for the most part, I like to pre-fish, and I do fish, but a lot of times I'll just circle the lake, kind of go up and down and just see what I see, electronics wise or just sight wise, depths, structure, anything that might be of interest. I'll try to fish it a little bit, see if I'm getting anything. But as like a lake changes in a week or a day, even an afternoon. So a lot of times, if I'm feeling confident about it, it's tough when you go in and you don't find that pattern. It's just hard to repeat that pattern a lot of times.
100%.
So a lot, I try to look for the juicy spots where I think they'll be that time of the year, and kind of mark things and then come tournament day, just kind of, I don't know, in a way, hope for the best, but at least I kind of, I guess, go in educated, more or less, where I see things, where I saw things, and hit those spots.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys that do that. They go and they'll just graph. They won't even bring a pole. They'll just graph for that same reason. They're like, hey, if I have a bad pre-fishing experience, I don't want to take that juju with me into the, some people it's hard to shake. It's hard to shake it off, right? Mentally, right?
Yeah.
Just is. You just carry, you head in with that negative momentum and you're like, you don't want that. So they just go graph. And then when they head into tournament day, they just have these spots they mark that they want to go hit. And hey, if you have a shitty tournament, whatever, I'd rather have it the day of than like already before I started.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. All right. Craig and Frankie. So right now it looks like you guys are have really found your mojo as a fishing team, right? What do you look forward to most fishing with a partner? Like what is it what makes you guys a good duo, I guess? Like how do you complement each other?
When it comes to fishing as a team, it has its advantages, because how Craig looks at something in the water or perceives something and I perceive something is completely different, because he has his ways of fishing and what he knows, and what I have. We both bring different things to the table, so we can lean on each other and help each other out.
Mm-hmm.
Which is definitely it's
And it's fun when you catch a big fish and your buddy's right next to you.
100%. 100%.
We've been friends for, I don't know, 12, 13 years. So.
Yeah. When you catch a fish with your boy,
Yeah.
right? And if you're solo, it's just not as exciting, unless you're cashing a check for 10 G's.
Yeah.
When you're fishing in a local club for $300 and you catch a giant, you're like high-fiving so hard you almost knock each other out the boat.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part. Yeah.
It has its advantages when you're on a team, because, like I said, he spots something that I might not even have saw or overlooked.
Yeah.
And it just works out for the better in that situation.
I also like that you could work two different types of lures.
Well, 100%. That's 100%. Like I fish, my co-director, he's my fishing partner. He's one of my best buddies. We fish together, and like we'll be fishing, and he's always got like, I just got this new Japanese bait. I really want to use this, and we're not catching nothing for 2 hours. I'm like, Dave, your bait is the drop shot and Senko. Put it on, please. Right? Because if I'm not catching nothing, forget it. Like I'm on Tourney X, I'm judging fish. I got other directors hitting me up. Frankie, how do I do this? And so I'm like, Dave, you got to catch some fish. And he puts on a drop shot, and then there's confidence, and like, but there's yin and yang, because you have two people kind of like, when you feel like, dude, I'm not catching anything on this, like your partner's always like, yo, well, why don't you try the fluke? You always kill it with the fluke. You know what I mean? And when you might not think of that, right? Because mentally you're kind of like, and I hate to say this, but we all get like this sometimes. You don't catch fish, you kind of forget, why you're even doing it. You're just here to have fun. You love it. You like being outside, but you get so frustrated with yourself in the moment. You're like, I gotta chill out, bro. And so it's nice to have a teammate say that, like, dude, chill out, get your drop shot on, get the friggin' Japanese friggin' anaconda lure you got there, put that away, and get back to what you catch fish on. Because when you think about bass fishing, and right, we've all watched a million videos, half the magazines we all read, half of those techniques and lures don't even work up north. It's like, how many times are we going to talk about drop shot, Senko, crankbait, jig, fluke? It's all you need. It's like all you need to do well up here, or anywhere. And green pumpkin, black, and maybe white. Right. And so it's so nice to have a teammate there to be like, dude, come on, you got this, bro. Pick up that rod, get that crankbait on. Right. And then you're like, then you feel rejuvenated. You know what I mean? You're like, eat a Snickers. You'll be good.
I actually did that improvement. He wants to catch a fish. I was like, just put the crankbait on, bro.
Yeah, that's what you got to do sometimes. But that's why it's like, and that's why I give people that, like kayak anglers, right? You're not fishing on a team. Right. And in regular standard kayak events, it's like you and like, the angel and the devil on your shoulder. The angel's telling you, Tammy, put on the jig. And the devil's like, Tammy, throw the frog again. Right. And like that struggle of like being solo and the mental aspect of sport and trying to defeat your own demons and stay in the game. Right. Like, how do you stay focused and in the zone in an 8-hour tournament or whatever it is, and it's 100 degrees on you and it's windy and you're like, shit this, shit that. Like, fishing is total mental strength almost, right? And a team has an advantage over a solo person because you have that teammate. If you have a good teammate, not everybody has a good teammate. You might have two schmucks on a boat and it's like, all right, now it's just, miserable boat. And those are the guys that like call the director and say, yo, Frank, it's like 10:30. Hey, we're going to head out. We're not catching nothing. And you're like, all right, peace. Thanks for your entry fee. Hold on. If you tell me I have to drop shot, our friendship is over. Michael Brown, that's actually pretty funny. Michael, I'm with you. I don't drop shot either, dude. I've given up on a drop shot, just not because of any specific. I don't have the patience for it that way. Yeah, I am not a drop shot guy. It doesn't work for my. I need something moving. I need to be twitching. I need to be, that's just me. I know I should be using it, but that's just me. I got you, brother. I agree with Michael. Nice. All right, cool. Well, we're approaching our hour mark, but let's now. What was I going to say? I was going to go two routes. I was either going to ask the group, and it all depends on how much you follow the sport to answer this question. It was going to say, all right, how about this for the kayak anglers? All right, where do you see, or where do you want, or would like, or your hope or dream for kayak fishing? What direction do you think it needs to take to get to the next level? Right, Bassmaster's trying it. Right, Steve Owens he's the director that's hopefully going to take that the kayak world and under Bassmaster to the next level. And but where do you think the kayak kayak fishing, like what does it need to get up right, to like the Bassmaster Elite Series, to have like a professional league, right, in the kayak world? What do you think is missing? What do you think could be added, or what do you think, if you could have a magic ball, where would you like to see it go?
I don't know. You just need more participants. I know it's still kind of young in the kayak tournament kind of thing, but just definitely need more bodies joining to kind of promote and just keep it rolling.
Okay. All right. Yeah, participation is always one of the biggest factors. What about you, Tammy?
Yeah, I mean, I think you probably need you need the sponsorship, you need the money, I think, to help build it. It's, it's like all of us, we have day jobs. We can't do this for a living. There's a few people out there that do.
Yeah.
But until you get to that level, like, and, Bassmaster Elite, that's what they do for their job. They get, they have sponsors that help them, not all of them do, most of them do have sponsors that help them pay for things, or get product, and they're able to do this full time. So, I think if we can, like Jesse said, participation, get a lot of people interested in it, get it to where sponsors see that it would be a good place to invest their money.
Yeah.
Then we could probably see it at that level. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping, that it does get to that level of, interest and participation. And, and I think after, slowly and hopefully the sponsorship dollars should come. And, maybe you have people who can do this for a living, more people than just the few that we do.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think the sponsorship side of things is just going to get tougher, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the sponsorship pool is so flooded, it's making it harder and harder, one, for anglers to get paid sponsorships, right? Very few get paid sponsorships. They just get product or discounts.
Yep.
They won't tell you that, but that's the truth. And here's the thing: when something grows, let's say there are more kayak anglers, those are more people going to the same companies looking for money, and the companies are like, dude, you're sucking me dry. Right. I can't. I got XYZ anglers that have really big followings, do really well, and that's where our budget is going. Well, it's getting really hard, and that's tough and that's why people have always talked about, if you're looking for sponsorships, stop going to the fishing companies. Go to a seasoning company. Go to car dealership. Go to whatever, like a shoe company. Who knows? Water shoes, whatever. Like, you got to get creative because, right, I'll tell you right now, as an organization owner, right, I'm glad, I'm very happy with our partnerships, right, because they're not like, then it's not AFCO. It's not, Skeeter Boats. It's not Strike King, and get, you know what I mean? But I'll tell you, it's harder and harder to reach out to new companies, like Power Pole. Oh, our budget's already taken and we're already supporting XYZ. Right. It's getting really tough. But I think Bassmaster Kayak Series, if the or whatever kayak world, or any kayak series, like, the events need to be more exciting. Like, and I know it takes time. Like, it's got to be like, look at Dave Mercer, right? Dave Mercer gets the crowd going for Bassmaster Elite Series. Every angler comes up, they got a nickname. He kind of makes it really fun and loud, right? Yeah. You need that for the kayak world. That's what I think is missing. Like an MC to help Steve Owens, right? Steve Owens is the director. He's seeing things, making sure everybody stays in check. And you need that one more person that when they do the announcements, like, hey, coming up to the state, whatever, like, to bring some fun and excitement so that a crowd starts to be like, whoa, what's going on here? Yeah. What's going on in this venue, right? And now you start building excitement, not just the anglers. It's got to be people outside of that show an interest. That's why there's Elite Series, because of the broad audience, right? And it's on TV, and you get all these eyeballs that people aren't competing, right? Because typically a kayak event, it's just the competitors that are there in the award ceremony. It's not an audience. Right. You know what I mean? And until they can get there, I think they can kill it. It's going in the right direction. And I really would love to see it grow because so many people are passionate about it. And but again, it's tough because if you have a professional kayak league, it's going to be like the Elite Series, only maybe 100 kayak anglers. And this way, the sponsorship money can get funneled towards these, 100 or 50 pro kayak anglers, right? Instead of being so widespread. And then you have other leagues that kind of are tiered, right? Like AAA league, and it's like you're making your way, just like they have invitationals and Bass Opens. If the kayak world can do that, they have their pro kayak series, then they have their pro kayak opens, and then I have pro kayak invitationals. Then you have your pro kayak clubs, right? They can talk to Slay Nation. We got all these clubs, for example. That's how you start to get the interest in the foundation. Then once they get good, they qualify for invitationals. All right, you did good. Now you can start competing in the opens. Now you're doing good. You get qualified for the pro kayak series, right? Like, I think it will happen. It's just going to take time.
Yep.
And, but I hope it gets there. Maybe there could be a professional John Boat League. I don't know. Right, boys? A team John Boat League? Let's go.
That'd be sweet.
I mean, there's nothing like it. We still on my radar when I first started this was to do a national Slay Nation event. And it was going to be the John Boat only series, which I still want to do. I still would like to offer that, but I still want to offer like a national, kind of like it's on my notepad to do like what Hobie BOS does and Bassmasters, like national events, right? Hey, Slay Nation national event here in New Hampshire on Lake Winnipesaukee. Slay Nation national event here on Lake Chickamauga, Tennessee, or whatever the hell it is. Like we still have that's still something that we would love to still offer.
That'd be something dope to get into.
Yeah, but what about a John Boat? Like a John Boat, like, like the kayak series has it. They have their national trails, Bassmaster kayak. Why not a John Boat team aluminum? Not aluminum boat, because I don't want to get too big, right? No, but no outboards, right? No outboards, still trolling motor, but a John Boat team trail, like trail. A national trail. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, because I gotta say, I've looked into it, and there's not many teams that like team events that you could get into.
Yeah,
that's true too. That is true. Bassmaster has a team trail, but it's like very rarely promoted.
Really?
The Bassmasters has a team. It's a big boat trail. It's a team trail, and the guys that win the team and national championship, both of those anglers get invited to the Bassmaster Classic. Oh, and they have to fish separately though.
Yeah.
But no one even knows that. No one even knows because it's very.
You need a bigger boat for that. You need to
get. Yeah. You need a bigger boat, but no one even knows that exists. That there's a Bassmaster team trail. Like you don't see it promoted nearly as much as anything else.
So if we got a big boat, we would just have to do events to get into.
Yeah, you fish wherever they hold their events, their opens or whatever you call it, right? Yeah, they're all over the country, so you'd have to be traveling. It's a commitment. It's not, it's not a cheap deal. I don't know how much the entry fee is, but yeah, it's like maybe they do 6 or 7 events and they keep their AOI standings just like they do in any of our clubs. And then if you finish in the top whatever, because I know a buddy of mine fished it, and he that's how he qualified for the Classic. Tim Talento out of Connecticut. He qualified. Him and his partner won the team Bassmaster national event. They both qualified for the Bassmaster Classic. They didn't do well in the Classic, but you fish separately. You're in your own boat if you have one. I think if you don't have a boat, they might supply you one. I'm not sure on that, but that's how he qualified. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, there's a team Bassmaster trail, like big boat trail, but no one even knows. They don't. I feel like they never promote it. Yeah. I think that's fun.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Right?
That would be.
Yeah.
Whatever. Hey, whatever. But all right, folks. It's we're after 10. And I got to go upstairs. We got a new little puppy. I feel like she probably terrorized something. Because I don't hear my son. I think my son's sleeping now. Usually he's up like playing with her. But hey, I really appreciate you all hopping on tonight. It means a lot. And Tammy, it's great to be talking with you again.
Yeah, same
and
here.
I'm sure we'll have you back on. And hey, Frankie and Craig, we'll see if you can keep the streak alive. When's your next tournament? Next weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Mine's next. I have one next weekend too. So I'll be waiting to hear from Jim and see what happens. Yeah. And Jesse, first time on, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah. But before we get out of here, let's go around, tell people if you have anybody you want to thank, give a shout out. And if you have pages, people to follow, your adventures, do that. So, Jesse, let's start with you, bud.
I guess the person I'm going to thank is my buddy Joe for kept pestering me to get me to join up and get me on the water.
Joey Campbell. Joey Campbell soup. Awesome. What about Frank and Craig?
I want to shout out my fiance Nicole.
That's right. Oh, wait, when are you getting married again?
We don't have a date yet.
Oh, okay. All right, no rush.
Yeah.
All right, don't rush.
And, Smith Point Bait and Tackle.
Okay.
And
then if you guys want to follow us on our journey, we have a YouTube page and we also have an Instagram page. Endless Journey is the YouTube and Instagram. And then also I have my own Instagram, Bending Tips with Frankie. You can find me through Endless Journey. Follow along the journey as we fish around the Northeast.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We can get
awesome. Excellent. Well, appreciate you guys for hopping on again. And Tammy.
Shout out to New Canoe. He supports me with my kayaks. Dobbins Rods, Fisher Dye Bait Company.
Nice.
Angler Tungsten, and Mountain Road Trading Post. They do a lot of great work up here in the New Hampshire area. Actually, June 9th, they're sponsoring a fundraiser tournament on Pawtuckaway. If anybody's interested, kayak tournament. If anybody's interested, Jesse, if you're interested in doing it, June 9th. I don't have YouTube. I have my Instagram and my TikTok are both New Hampshire or NH_gal_fishing. And Facebook is just Tammy Sanchez.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you for hopping on, Tammy.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. And can't wait to see what the next tournament holds for y'all.
All right.
Okay.
All right, have a great night. Appreciate it.
See ya.
All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in. A bunch of great guests. And hey, listen, some great anglers too. So listen, we're going to have another episode of Slay Station. What's next Friday? I hope to do another one. I'm trying to get some special guests on to join our panel of Slayers. So stay tuned for that. And if you want to see somebody on the show that maybe we never had, or you'd like to see him, if you can make it happen, or if we could try to make it happen, well, we will. So let us know. And thank you all for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Be safe if you're fishing, right? Tell someone where you're going so that, God forbid anything, they kind of know where to look. And hey, fish hard, do what you love. Don't forget, new Slay Nation hats, right, are available on SlayNationTournamentFishingGear.com. There's all different kinds, all different colors. They're awesome. And these are actually, themed to match. This one specifically is themed to match our jerseys. And so go check one out. Get one for your friends. And that's it. So peace, love, and as always, slay all day. Ciao.